National Youth League of the Popular People's Movement, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Many all over the country today are speculating why I have called this press conference. The last time I spoke to the media was in September 2024, upon my return to the country to pursue my vindication through the rule of law. People then thought my comments were going to center on the witch hunt against me and other former officials of the CDC administration. Consistent with the wisdom that it is not prudent to discuss matters pending before the judiciary, I addressed many different issues during that interview. At today's press conference, I will do the same. So those speculating that I'm about to speak on my case are dead wrong. I will, however, say in passing that despite the evident delay gimmicks from the prosecution and the state, we will prevail in what is a clear example of national security expenditure that is amply protected by Liberian law. We look up to the judiciary for guidance in concluding that matter. So this press conference will center instead on the political factors, the lies, the hate, the envy, the propaganda, the dishonesty, and the shenanigans that aim to destroy innocent individuals in the public space for political motives. The question today we will ask is, why would people in our society, in our government, in our political parties, in our media, in our religious institutions know the honest truth or aspects of this truth, but will refuse to say anything when blatant falsifications are being hashed by malicious individuals to destroy innocent people? Why do those who know the truth on matters become willing accomplices to destroy others by their dangerous silence? Today, I will demonstrate how this evil information manipulation was deployed and weaponized against this administration of the CDC, and how people are intending to sustaining this culture of lies to destroy people in our politics. Those of us who have been caught in the crosshairs of these machinations will fight back with every means at our disposal, intellectually, politically, and of course, legally. This will not be and should not be how we conduct our politics. We cannot fight corruption by lying on innocent people. Those who have determined to sustain this culture of lies and dishonesty in our politics and society must be fiercely resisted and fought so that we arrive at a more honest national discourse and will focus on the serious issues affecting our people. Today's conference is about initiating that fight. It is about demonstrating how targeting Samuel Tweah and keeping his name in the public, even when he has done nothing wrong, appears to be the goal of some individuals in our politics and in our media. One of these individuals is Mr. Senator Witherspoon. Mr. Witherspoon has used his own network to malign my person and spew out misinformation concerning me for more than 4 years while I was Minister of Finance. Even out of power, he continues to pursue me. Although Mr. Witherspoon faces several lawsuits for libel, he does not seem deterred in maligning innocent people, aiming to destroy their reputation. In the last 6 years, I have treated these machinations as coming with the political territory, offering public clarifications or denunciations. I have always believed a public official should be willing to withstand public scrutiny, but malicious attempts to demean and damage the reputation of an individual is a far cry from public scrutiny. Clearly, these lawsuits have evidently not deterred Mr. Witherspoon and those of his ilk. Today, I'm exposing a conspiracy by Mr. Witherspoon and others to get Samuel Tweah involved in some fake, false 30 million COVID-19 scandal, for which Mr. Witherspoon said on his network on last Thursday, June 26, 2029, that, quote, I will be arrested. Samuel Tweah will be arrested by government. I have here the video footage of Mr. Witherspoon's comments and will play it before taking questions. More than 100,000 Liberians must have heard this malicious garbage. Several persons have since called me to ascertain the veracity of his injurious rant against my person. And since people are actually having conversations about, quote unquote, my pending arrest, with some urging me to change my sleeping location. All of this for something, not only that I really don't know, but no wrong I have committed. Let it be clear that if the government is investigating the COVID-19 World Food Program food distribution it is the World Food Program that will be under investigation and not former Minister Samuel D. Tweah Jr. I believe publicly demonstrating the abject falsity and bogosity of these Witherspoon-inspired rumors concerning a supposedly 30 million COVID scandal, the public will appreciate the extent and scope of the conspiracy against me and will begin to ask why am I the target of so many in our politics. I will present here publicly available reports on the 30 million, saying which institution was giving this money, where the money came from, how much of this was spent, and how much was left over. The administration has authorized the use of the balance of this money, for which, according to Mr. Stanton, I should be or would be arrested. In 2010, let's present the facts to the public and commence the destruction of these evil rumors. In 2020, the government of Liberia, through the national legislature, worked with the International Monetary Fund to secure 25 million loan to support what was called the COVID-19 Household Food Support Program. This program was about giving food to Liberian households during COVID-19. As part of the arrangement, the government and the IMF agreed that the money should be deposited directly into the bank account of the World Food Program, which, according to the government and the IMF, have the best expertise and experience to distribute food on a global and national scale. I was very happy with this arrangement because it meant no Liberian government institution would be accused of, quote, stealing 25 million, since it will be the World Food Program that will be accounting for the 25 million. I was happy that another 25 million lie would be avoided. You don't know the 25 million map of lie I'm talking about. But as we all can see now, my happiness was futile and short-lived because I am today here talking about 25 million that was directly deposited and spent by the World Food Program. Long story short, the Ministry of Finance, under my leadership, received 25 million from the IMF through the government revenue account and transferred this sum in its entirety to the bank account of the World Food Program. I don't think that money stayed a full day at the Ministry of Finance when it came. It was transferred immediately. Also, the World Food Program received $5 million from the World Bank to the Smallholders Agriculture Transformation Agribusiness and Revitalization Project, STARP. This $5 million was released directly by the World Bank as monies for donor partners such as the World Bank do not go to the government revenue account. Based on the final report of the project, which I have, will show you a copy of that. The World Food Program received a total of 30 million from two different sources: the Ministry of Finance under my leadership, and the World Bank and the Ministry of Agriculture. In July of 2022, the World Food Program reported that it spent 23.838 million and had a balance of 1.17 million to transfer back to the government through the MFDP. The World Food similarly had the amount of 857,000, these are US dollars, to be returned to the World Bank directly. In total, it had a little over $2 million of unspent COVID-19 food distribution money. So in other words, it probably spent a little less than $28 million. Up to the time the CDC administration left office, the World Food Program had not returned this money. Thanks to Deputy Minister Augustus Flomo and his hard-working team, we left a turnover note with recommendations for the incoming administration. I have the entire copy of our turnover note from the Department of Economic Management, which deals with matters of donor funding. But specifically, we have printed out the section on the recommendation that was left with incoming Finance Minister Muhammad Kabara and the UP administration. But it gets more interesting. I have a letter dated March 2025 from Finance Minister Augustine Behe Gafwan requesting results to expect of the $234,350 or 20% of the unutilized COVID-19 food distribution money he had previously approved for expenditure on school feeding as requested by the World Food Program. An earlier letter from Minister Gafwan in September 2020 reads his denial of a request from the country director of the World Food Program to use 500,000 of the unused funds for school feeding. I have also a May 2023 letter from former country director of World Food Program, Mr. Aliu Diongu, requesting my approval for said reallocation. Mr. Aliu personally visited me, and I told him then I was not in the position to grant such an approval. We had a good conversation. Yeah. But let's imagine Minister Gaffron has approved the reallocation, and it is Minister Tweah who is now being rumored to be arrested. Imagine if Samuel Tweah had approved and given the money to Aliu. They would have said Samuel Tweah used one food program money for CDC campaign, and maybe I might have been arrested already. So to conclude, members of the press, these are facts on the COVID-19 30 million. Why did Mr. Waterspoon put my name out there for 30 million? Mr. Waterspoon claims to have received this information from government sources, quote unquote. I don't care about Mr. Waterspoon and his sources. I care that Liberians have falsely been made to believe I'm illegally connected to some $30 million, for which the government is purportedly seeking my arrest as part of its dragnet on former CDC officials. I have consulted my team of lawyers who believe there are substantial merits in libel lawsuit against Mr. Waterspoon pertaining to this defamation. I've instructed my lawyers to file this suit early next week. So this will be the legal battle. Today, I will spend some time discussing this and other lies and how these lies have been weaponized against individuals in the CDC administration. I thank you. I will now play the video footage and we'll take your questions on these after that and other developments.
Amanda, where you?
There was a voice from a Prime Minister who was Samuel Tweah.
It's about the state of the video of Spoon FM, CEO Stanton Waterspoon, where he's stating.
I'll play you the footage so you pay attention. We're beginning the legal battle. We'll do legal, political, and intellectual battle in this country to save our reputation in our country. All right. All right. So
reactionary tendency.
Abbas.
Reactionary tendency.
Abbas.
Disinformation.
Abbas.
Propaganda.
Abbas.
Propaganda.
Abbas.
Propaganda.
Abbas.
Propaganda.
Abbas.
Propaganda.
Abbas.
Yo. Disinformation. Yo. Amanda.
Where do?
And where do?
Amanda.
Yo. Evidence coming outside. Yo. Another document. Yo.
This is the section of the Ministry of Finance, our government's recommendation to the incoming government on what to do with the COVID-19 money. This is prepared by Minister Augusta Flomo. Council says, contact the World Food Program for the balanced COVID 2019 funds to agree on the deployment of remaining funds to support food production. So the remaining funds did not come to President Weah's government. So nobody can prosecute any official in the President Weah government for COVID-19. The evidence I will share with that one with you.
Amanda! Where to?
Amanda! This is Minister Gaffron's letter denying the 500,000 requests from COVID in September last year. They had asked the minister, the same way they asked me for the balance money, he had denied first. So that's the letter. This is another letter approving. Mr. Gaffron subsequently apparently approved 234,000, and he's writing Minister Nuta for results. What do we expect from this money? So he denied first, he approved subsequently, but he's writing to find out what are they doing with the money and what are the impact. He only approved probably 20% of it, so that's 234.
No.
I beg you, no. I'm not, the minister did. Yeah. This is a legitimate function the minister performed. I could have approved it, but I decided not to because there was a new administration coming. He can approve it through 1A, but let the facts say what they are. You cannot be talking and gossiping in the corner about arresting Samuel Tweah when the very government that should be arresting him for this money, approving the money, and doing something with the money.
Yo, government approving, doing something with the money. Yo. Yeah.
We have all the reports on load to me, for me, and then for the new government. We share with you all of these. The people rely on the city's administration so much and want their way to political power. And they think they can get away with it. So we just lie and say anything, 25 million, 16 billion, we just lie, people die. I mean, they're trying, men like me, people trying to say I can kill human beings. I mean, can you imagine all the people who know me, men like me, people look at me and say I can kill. Some people, so because of that, some people look at my profile in the public and say, they don't know, because they don't know me personally. They just see why it's all the vengeance against this woman. Maybe he hears something. Even my chief of staff just died. And people have the audacity to even believe that I can kill Cletus Noah. That's how evil this country has become. And the politics has become destructive. And so those who are there, we have texting. Me, I have very texting. I was born for political battle. Don't get me wrong. This is my field.
Yo. Allemand dit ouais. Allemand dit ouais. Dit ouais comme une. Mambola, Tumola, Bimola, dit ouais c'est.
I was cut and made for politics. So my skin is extremely tough. Very little moves me. I have no fear for any man. And I envy no other man. Because I think what one man does, I'm able to do. So I don't have to envy him. But there is a limit to what a man can take. Especially if you have 6 children who are growing up. And when somebody consistently tries to pick on your father. So, but what is this man doing? Why would you? I mean, people call me and say, 10 million again? Well, what is that? What I did with this money? What happened? I said to come here, arrest you for 10 million. My sister in New York calling me. I said, 10 million? I didn't do anything with 10 million. 10 million is for the World Food Program. The other tragedy about this is that the World Food Program hears this gossip. People in the Ministry of Finance know that the minister is writing letters using the money currently. They sit on spoon and hear all this garbage, and nobody has the audacity to say, the people who are writing the letter of Minister Gafan know, and then I record school saying, you are lying. I just drafted a letter for this money. It's not something. Why do we do this? So that's the conversation we're going to have today. And particularly you media people. What is your standard for verifying information? It's an honest conversation. President, we have signed the Civil Mountain Law. No, it's not civil, it's the Abla Kamara. That gave you guys the right to say many things. But there is a limit to which you can live up somebody. So Mr. Springle Waterspoon will have to tell us in court who told him that I took 30 million and which government is coming to arrest him for 30 million, for which he has now made, and through me now, through everything, and maybe they'll go, maybe 2 million like grant, I hear for 30 million, and my name is came back. So it is only the vindication through court. I will compare Mr. Wilson to say something and repent so that the public knows that the journalists or the commentators on social media have a responsibility to truth in our democracy. We want to fight corruption, we want to transform the country, but we should do so honestly. We cannot destroy other people in our process. Right? The falsification that goes on spoon has to be challenged. Just the other night, the man played my Amutoken song. Oh, Amutoken, oh. He's playing the Amutoken song and saying that song was because of President Weah's visit to President Biden. Oh, I sang that song when Liberia passed the MCC scorecard. That's why I said national. I said we qualify. The 500 million that should have come to this country, I was celebrating for my country. That this government was inheriting. That eventually it may happen 4 or 5 years from now. It was that song. So when you hear that song in the public school places, link it with the 500 million that will come at some point in the future. That's the celebration I was doing. You mischaracterize that and put it in the form of. So it's a propaganda outfit. It's unfair. They do valuable work. Many of the panelists, I have friends on the show. I think they will more or less do the public right if they have to objectively raise the standard of their truth telling. If they're not sure about something, and they need to verify before bringing it out. So when we go to court, my lawyers have told me, I think my case will be the strongest test of libel. So we're going to find out legal battle with Mr. Witherspoon. It's not this, I'm not attacking the spoon now, I'm attacking Mr. Witherspoon. He has an agenda personally for 4 years, consistently impugning my reputation in the public when he has no basis for doing so. Thank you. I'll take your questions.
So at this time, comrades, the questions and answer period will be very, very, very rigid. Call the names of the institutions that you're representing, call your name as well, and then go strictly to what has been read and said here. Anything else out of that? Yeah, question. Yeah, please, you are only asked, you are allowed to ask a question, just a question. Because of time, the number of people here will ask.
Yeah.
Yes, brother.
I'm Obadiah Johnson. I report for Front Page Africa newspaper. Good afternoon, Mr. Tweah. You served as Liberia's finance minister at the time the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank respectfully contributed the amount of 25 million United States dollars and 5 million each to Liberia and its citizens for COVID-19 stimulus package. Don't you think it's prudent enough that you submit yourself to any pending investigation, since in fact you actually headed the country's finance ministry at the time? And why do you think your name is actually linked or implicated in this? What do you think? Do you think it's prudent that you submit instead of crying over this time? Thank you.
Yes, sir. My name is Matthias Nabindi. I'm from Sky Communications Liberia. Mr. Tweah, thank you for your presentation. Do you trust the court system in Liberia, the judicial system of Liberia, under the Waters administration, which you are going to use to vindicate yourself? In which court are you going to file a lawsuit against Stanton Witherspoon, Liberia, or in the US, since it's now residing in Liberia?
Next question.
So thank you. My name is Hagar Gonda, and I report for Freedom FM. Honorable Minister, former Minister, I should say, I'm interested in knowing one of what you've said and considering the efforts of the government in going after some past government officials. Why do you think all of these things are happening? Because there are speculations in the public that the government is apparently not seeing a way through, and as such, they want to play some tactics by bringing on, coming on some former officials of the CDC administration. Why do you think you are always in the news for these kind of allegations?
Next question.
Okay, I'm Sam. I report for the National Radio and Television. I'm concerned about the silence of the war food program. Since you, in fact, you said the money is directly with the war food program, why is it they haven't broken silent over this issue?
So thank you. So we close the first chapter and then.
Thank you. These are very good questions. That's why I'm here. Would you submit yourself to, listen, I'm a patriotic, law-abiding citizen. I will submit myself to any investigation, legitimate or bogus. Let's get it clear. Any legitimate or bogus investigation, I respond, because as a citizen, you have to respect the authority. If the police came for you, you can't put water in the face and slap me, even if I did not. I could be sleeping in my house and police say I didn't sleep in my house, I did something that they come for me. I will go to the station. That's not the question. So I'm just giving the public that there is no basis for involving Samuel Tweah in anything like this. So let's say the government has seen the 25 million report, which I share with you from the money for the money we gave them. And let's say people in the government are not satisfied. Who do you think is the first person that you want to contact? You have to contact the World Food Program, because one of the reasons why we gave the money to the World Food Program was that we did not want another situation where we were politicizing. If we want to politicize it, let's go and politicize it with the World Food Program. Because the World Food Program will receive that money. No Liberian official has access to the World Food Program's bank accounts. They control the expenditure. There was a National Steering Committee chaired by Minister Wilson Tapper. I was only Minister of Agriculture only. They were just administering steering, they were not involving operational matters. So we're receiving all of these reports. The purchasing of rice, the distribution of rice were left solely with the World Food Program, because they have the global expertise and the experience to do that. So if there is a problem with the spent portion, two portions now, spent nearly 28 million, unspent 2 million. If we have a problem with the 28 million that was spent by the World Food Program, then it's prudent that the government investigate. But as I know right now, there is no asset to recover for the 30 million, because the World Food Program has reported that it spent every time the government has given a report to the government. The government has not challenged that report, except it is trying to do so. But if it's trying to do so and launch an investigation, the investigation will begin with the World Food Program. If you ask me in my investigation, Mr. Tweah, what do you know about the 25 million? This is what I'm saying now to the public. I know that we agree with the IMF that I will put the money in the World Food Program account. The 5 million will come from the World Bank. We don't control World Bank finance. The ministers of finance don't control monies that leave World Bank account. World Bank project money goes directly from World Bank to directly from World Bank to the World Food Program, and it goes to the World Bank to other recipients of World Bank. We don't sign on this. There's a framework at the Ministry of Finance, but the ministers are not involved in that distribution. So that's what I can say on the 25. Broadly on the 5, but there is an unspent portion. Maybe there was this rumor, and I'm telling you, somebody even told me that maybe I received this $2 million and they World Food Program 300,000 of it. Okay? So those are the rumors that are circulating. Or maybe they may receive the 2 million anyway and get Brown World Food Program with the 300. So the person who asked the question, why, and I will link that question, why is World Food Program silent? I think that's the best question here for today. That's the best question. Why is the World Food Program silent? The World Food Program should issue a statement. The public is not informed about. Maybe they're going to issue a statement because I've had the press conference. That's why I came here. And so this whole thing is there because the World Food Program is not going to take ownership. Wait, listen. Are you saying that we stole the 28 million? Is the government trying to attack us? Is asset recovery thing trying to impede our reputation? That's what World Food Program and asset recovery. Now I don't know. Listen, let's be careful. I have not been invited by the government. Let's be clear. The government has not written me. The government has not contacted me. I have heard this through Stanton Witherspoon. So let's be clear. I am not accusing the government. Through Stanton Witherspoon, I heard I will be arrested. It will be up to Mr. Witherspoon who told him that Samuel Tweah was on investigation and will be arrested. That's where he will explain that in court. And he will meet his sources. But I don't think I have a force with the government now because no letter has been written me. Maybe the government knows why. But while all of that, people are speculating on this and destroying my reputation. My sister and family people are calling me. So this is why I have to put stop to this. The other question was, do you trust the court system? Let me say one thing. If you ask me this question before our war, I'll tell you no. Because we have a Liberia where we have a country governed by men, the will of men. We never had a democracy. There was no auditing. or auditing was manipulated by the government. There was no accountability, there was no transparency before the war. If you ask me the question, I would say so. That I am not afraid of the imperial presidency because what judges and courts have seen, we have a democracy where even the judge has an independence that is unprecedented in this country, and the president can do nothing about that. In the 1980s and 1970s, President Trump will call you and put you in jail. President Doe will send for the judge and say, you do like that, we'll kill you. Today, no president can harass any judge. Judges are at the crucible of our transformation today. And so I trust the judicial system because of this fact. Had I not trusted the judicial system, I would not have come from Ivory Coast to face trial. Because I believe, you know what made me pray? To walk knowing people wanted to arrest me is the fact that I believe the rule of law is prevailing. And that while there were those who wanted to arrest me, there were equally those in the Unity Party who knew that an arrest of me would be unjust. And so there would be some tension. That tension will never exist in the 1980s before the war. And so I said, I'm coming under the jurisdiction of the court. I'm not fleeing justice. I'm coming for justice. You cannot be arresting me when I come for justice. And so on the basis of that, on the basis of my trust of the judicial system, I entered the country and I went and submitted myself to criminal proceeding, and I remain under the judiciary. If any government official, this government wants to manufacture any bogus charge and believe that they just want to arrest me, maybe what I need to do is just buy one handcuff and just kind of today I should have put a handcuff on me, let me get a picture, put it in there, and let somebody to maybe that what they want. So just put me in handcuff and say we'll carry you in jail. They are able to do so. I'm not afraid of going to jail. I'm afraid of going to jail for the wrong reason. I will leverage my ability to go to jail anytime for the right reason. If you lie on me and I prove and the public believe, I will sleep in jail. So I'm not afraid of jail. I trust the judicial system. That's your question. That's your answer. Why government, which one people, I mean, that's the same thing we're talking about. I mean, President William took office, one of the things people say, oh, well, the country is fragile. The challenges of the Liberian are massive. This government can solve the challenges. I'm not laughing. One of the things we need to do in our politics now is to say, listen, let's be honest and let's level with the Liberian people. What problems are we able to solve and what problems are we not able to solve? The most people call me and they say, Tweah, why are we having debates about, why is our debate about salary payment? I find it troubling, Tweah. Most of the discussion are about trivial things in the country. I say the reason that is because the politicians do not want to be honest with the Liberian people. So when government salary delay 5 days, we politicize it. General says, look, salary will delay because of many different reasons. Revenue is not in the government account. But when we politicize all these things to move one party from power, the party that left from power will politicize the same thing. We are fighting over road. This government, our government, secure all financing of all road networks in the country. Major road networks. I signed on the president. We are a 10-year electricity financing. 10 years for the World Bank. So that means, forget about President Waka. The financing for the president who will be elected 2029, I signed it. It's a 10-year financing. So that guaranteed 10 years of financing. So 6 years, 10 minus 6, how many years? So the next president will draw 4 years. So don't worry about this rescue. The next president will take President Tweah. If President Tweah will take himself. The point I'm making is that let's leave the trivial politics. The fundamental question that bring on now is that Liberians, why we don't have jobs? Liberians, why our budget is 650 million and it's not 1 billion? Sierra Leone budget is 1.5 billion. Cote d'Ivoire budget is 27 billion. Ghana budget is 20 billion. Why is it that Liberia's budget just hints around 600. And let me tell you that when we say 800 million, the partners bringing 150 there. The raw domestic, the money yourself bringing here, that's 650, 675. That's it. That's the problem. So if every politician will be fighting in this, so listen, listen to Senator Duncan. The Senator of South County is raising an interesting debate in the country that we all need to pay for to. He's saying if we want to down 600, government salary right now, the government's wage bill right now is bloated. The government wage bill is exploding beyond almost $340 million on the government. When you take $350 million from 600, what is left there? The debt you owe all international people from domestic, CBL debt, I may get away with, in fact, I'm telling you, CBL, you may get away. As soon as your money comes, whether you get negative, they can CBL take it. When your money go there, because so CBL will ask Minister of Finance where to take the money. Because in the agreement with the IMF, all money will go to the bank, they have to be paid on time. There's no delay. So you pay the CBL, you pay your debt, you pay the World Bank. You need around 125 million every year for that. Okay, you're talking about 675. Then the government running itself, you need what? If you get the government 100 million, the government will bring it because 100 million is small to run the government. So what you do? You start talking about electricity rules here. What you do? So everybody killing themselves around the 650 million, and we think we're doing something here. The president should reach out to the former president and say, "My man, listen, I know we have a spy, but maybe he's leading that direction because I see him going towards the reconciliation of the past. Maybe he will come to the reconciliation of the present. So it's a phase process." He's dealing with the past, and he's right. That's Stephen talking. These are overhanging issues. He's saying, we are sitting down with me. Everybody here, we deal with the reconciliation. And reconciling means when people do wrong, you shouldn't go after them. No. He said, my man, under your government, you did it wrong. I'll prosecute it for my man. You did this with your government. Let's continue to move the country forward. Let's forget our past. Let's forget our business. You were president, I'm president. So maybe the president has an agenda for the now. I will not speak for him. Well, that politics of witch hunt is not going to get the country anywhere. Because what Liberians have seen, let me tell you, one of the reasons why we lost this election is that when Liberians who there's a fraction of Liberians. I mean, 17,000 separating the two parties is a negative. You can see that the country is split evenly. But the stubborn Liberians who were made to believe and lie to that we took NGO jobs away, that because of President Weir that the economy was declining. I don't care you gave them $50 million. They wanted this experiment to see what would happen after a George Weah was not president. They made a difference for the Union Party. They are the most frustrated and the most disappointed now because the no deception took them away from the reality. Yes. So that is what we have to deal with now. So,
thank you. Let's now come up before the next question. Let me quickly recognize the global chairman. Thank you. So, we are pleased to announce the presence, the arrival of the chairman of the Indemnity Market Coalition for Democracy. So at this time, we come to the second part. Yeah, please don't be repetitious. The second part. Yeah, thank you. What now the information coming up?
I don't wait for the question. You see, then that's the question that people are saying. We said all these things. We fought. We provided everything we are saying today. You go back to all my clips. You can play all my clips for the last 6 years. You will hear the same argument I'm making. And when people get online, the way to power, and when you know any reality in the shop, People, you think harmonization, you think our Minister of Finance, you think President Tweah, you think we take pleasure in fixing a broken wage system at our own detriment? You think so? Well, we are faced with the reality that if you don't do so, Mr. President, your government has a lifespan of 2020. All the partners who brought money here before 2018 took their hands up and said, well, the time is now for you to take care of yourself. Now we'll be taking care of you, not you. Mr. Minister, that wage over there, European Union, American tax dollars should not be going to finance one person making, one nurse making, or one director making $200 Ministry of Agriculture, and a same director with the same skill making $2,000 somewhere. That's a waste of our money. If you do not end this, you have a problem in the construction. And you're talking about 2019. And so, what point does the president have? The president has to fix the country. Fixing the country is not a palatable thing. It's a hard choice. And people don't know it, they just want to be solved. So we have to confront the reality. And you see, the propaganda about harmonization is that harmonization was not about increasing or about decreasing salary. No. And listen, I'm telling you again, because you come by and ask this question too. I'm telling you, they will tell you what I'm telling you harmonization, there were two systems. There's a basic salary system, and there was a general allowance system. 40,000 to 47,000 Liberians were paid under a basic allowance. 25,000 Liberians. The other thing, before you said the wage bill, when we came to power, there were around 67,000 Liberians on the payroll. That's the other lie I told you. They told you that we added 25,000 persons on the payroll. We clarified all those things. People still didn't hear it. Right? So there were 67,000 persons on the payroll with him. 25,000 of them were getting paid on general allowance. What is the general allowance system? Some of them they hire his brother, they pay his driver $2,000. No system. The way as I feel, I give it to you. You pay your own salary. I said that before. You call your own. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to give me 3,000. The general allowance system pays you. Whereas the people on basic allowance salary, they're having a $200, $300 living. It was unfair. We were confronted with this like this, and we took the tough decision. And no government, not just this government, the next 50 years, the government cannot reverse it. When you reverse, I'm going to put you cannot, because under organizations, the judiciary is not paying taxes. You know, I love the judiciary, I love the judges, but they always argue with me, you know, we don't have anything in this except for in America, governor, the judges pay taxes here in America. Why should judges or why should people in the judiciary? So there were no taxes. So if you're reversing harmonization, you will make sure the judiciary does not pay taxes. Let's ask Mr. Gafon when you see the next time, well, you will make sure the judiciary will not pay taxes. If he does that, then you know you reverse harmonization. So you cannot reverse. So it's not even a debate, it's not even a discussion. The fixed person we have this country. Look, I'll tell you one story. The other day, Timothy George, the closing argument. Oh, he said, oh, this way. I saw Senator McCullough, he was pressing you. Senator McCullough is the chairman of the House Committee, of the Human Rights Committee. We go to the Human Rights thing. He said, I saw him going to a cookout. He said, I met your finance minister, a brilliant guy. And then I told me, I said, yes. You know what I remember me? You remember me because the men were bombarding me with propaganda. The congressmen were bombarding. We had a 15-minute Zoom call. He started telling me, he said, well, your president Tweah wanted to run for life, so he changed the constitution. He did the referendum so that he could run for 5, but then he was going to make sure he run for 12 years, so he would run for 12 to 5 terms plus a 6 year, and that's a whole design. That's what we've been told. What? I told Senator McCullough, that's propaganda, that's a lie. This is the only president who wants to have his first term. His first term will be 6 years because laws are not retroactive. But when the referendum is passed, his second term will be 5 years. So he will serve for 11 years. And that's why he intended. He said, but that's not what we've been told. I've been seeing all kinds of damaging reports. That's not what they say here. You know what Tony said? You got to come to Washington every week. So I told Timothy George, I said, that's why he remembers me. Because I was there fighting. Yeah, I was there fighting. The other problem they brought the auditors there. I mean, all the auditors, all the lie. That's how Koji got censured. Koji is harmless. Jefferson Koji. I've known him from baby. No harm. But today, Koji is on the human rights censure. The human rights censure is not like even the corruption censure. When American put out a censure, the human rights people from Russia, I mean, is what the Russian abuse is the most dangerous censure. You put Jefferson Koji on the human rights version of that censure, we gotta fight again. So what happened was that there was a barrage of propaganda every day confronting all US countries. And we were sitting here, I was sitting here dealing with how organization and focus the economy of Colombia. I'm kidding myself with I'm the guys are burying us on our side. By the time we went there to fight the mayor, we've been here. We'll be celebrating again when you don't want to thank the mayor who worked for you. And you say the mayor governor was bad. No bad governance succeeds under the MCC program. Simple. That's why I was saying that song that day. We're still going to war. We're still going to war.
As we speak, there are divided opinions in the country. At the moment, executions of government have been accused on several counts, including you, direct report. Some of them are on behalf back as well. Nigerians are divided. Some people think that this is a straight fight against corruption by this administration, while others see it as a wage hunt. There are others who are blaming this administration for not prosecuting past officials of government for this government. So do you think there was a missed opportunity on the part of the city government to rigorously prosecute execution of government? And then the final question is, what will you do differently if you were to assume that position again as finance minister of the government?
Let me answer the first question about prosecuting. The greatest contribution of President Tweah, I would argue, in the 6 years, I will not say it rose. I will not say a free tuition. President Tweah's greatest contribution is the establishment of an LSCC that should independently go after the evidence that is vested with prosecutorial powers. For the first 12 years under President Sali, LSCC was a toothless bulldog. They could not move. Who empowered, who institutionalized, who changed the law and made gave LSCC's powers to such an extent that the President of the Republic of Liberia cannot singularly dismiss the head of LSCC. He has to seek concurrence from the national legislature, the Senate. Who wrote that law? George Weah. So if you think George Weah was afraid of fighting corruption, he would not have strengthened the LSCC the way he did. What we want in the country is not witch hunt, it's to go at the evidence. When you present the evidence that shows somebody does wrong and they speak government money, they go to jail. When you manufacture it, like the way I described, you come in to go in jail for COVID-19 money and you didn't spend, Samuel will win that case. You will get some appreciation from going to arrest Samuel. But sooner rather than later, the majority of the people will soon know that you went after Samuel for the wrong reason, so your fight was bogus. So we need authentic fight against corruption. As a minister of finance, you come in after me, you gotta be prepared. I say that for all ministers of finance. I say that for Gaffer, I say that for Amara. Because ministers of finance are not spending ministers. They are appropriating ministers. That's why that's the difficulty. I gave the national elections 4 million more than they needed because of the national emergency. you can't put me in jail because I gave them 4 million, or you go ask them the 4 million and Tweah gave that without a budget, then you use it for election or then you eat it. And they told you say the use it for election, then you kind of rest Tweah, say Tweah gave them 4 million in the budget. They are the accounting entity. That's it. So this 5 people look at it and say, people are fishing. People are fishing. They're fishing. I don't want to, I will not talk about the case before the justices, I told you. But there's a fishing expectation on the national security front. It's all fishing. I will tell you, if the government has a legitimate case of corruption or any of our officials who invest public money, that official should go and put the money back. President Tweah will support that, and when he comes back to power, we'll take the fight against corruption to the next level. But it's not going to be on the basis of which it's not going to be on the basis of scoring political points that you arrest certain number of individuals so you have succeeded, whereas corruption is even more massive in the current administration. So you can do that. And the former finance minister talking. I know. You fight finance minister, I know everything about the state. I'm a member of the National Security Council. That's the important state secrets. I can tell you, President Parker, right now, I can tell you, if I open my mouth here, I will not do that. Show the secret thing.
Last question.
My name is Mike. Okay, so my question is, if this COVID-19 money they are talking about, was there a full audit on the issue where and when is the
Was there a full audit? I don't. Okay, the COVID-19 report, COVID 2020, right? So we gave the money, and then 2022 July, they brought the money. I don't believe the report has been audited. So we have the GSC, current finance minister, and the government got to find a way to find it. One of the challenges is we have, you see, now other thing with even the lists, people accuse, this was one of the poorest institutions. We were so struggling. Money for census does not go to lists. It goes to the Central Basket Fund under UNFP. UNFP is the one receiving all the census money. So where will legislative officials come from to take census money? When the Minister of Finance, everybody put name under the UNFP, we get access to the account. So if you say we take legislative money, then it means that the UNFP and the UN people give it to us because they alone can withdraw their money. How come? So people have to understand these things. If you want to accuse people of corruption, you have to look at what kind of system you're accusing them of. It's a bank account. Who are the signatories? Those are the questions you ask. Where the signatory are with the United Nations people. But then how will the Nations people take the money? One food program, money is with the one food program. How will Minister Tweah, how will the CDC government people, official, and no official ever did anything around money in the one food program? They go withdraw the money and go buy things. How? So I support you. I think there's a challenge with auditing the UN. And that's something that began, we brushed that conversation. We had the controller attorney general here. I mean, this man here commissioned, worked with the audit of the payroll. The payroll audit, you hear it talking about it. Look, all the work of this government was done by President Tweah. There is no substantive, there is no new area. The new area, the only new area I see for this administration is not wage. We solved wage problem. That was harmonization, that was payroll audit, all that ghosting, all that stuff. We solved all the problems. So you coming after us, it's like you can spend your best talent on that area now. Open new field. The field they have to open is how do businesses get loans in the country. That's why I tell don't push the people, don't pay them, don't get a free advice, don't go be there. But sometimes they have to fight to see how Liberians get up the money and find job. Their challenge is not how to pay government on time. The challenge is not harmonization. We talk the heavy beating for all of that. The challenge is how does the private sector get more loan from banks? All the banks sending down the money, they only want import rice, they only want import oil. What does the Ministry of Finance do? We could not attend to that question sufficiently because we dealt with the macro stability for the first 1.5 years. Then we're here with COVID for 2 years. By the time we battled that, we call a judicial conference and that, people say election coming. Our second term was going to be around the full implementation of the jobs agenda. How do you tackle jobs? How was the thing? Then that great book got confused with live propaganda. We say, okay. And there's a reason. I tell my citizens, people, y'all sit down. There's a reason. Do you know what would have happened in this country if we won the election and people come back? You know what? I've got. Sit down. Let it come. Now that great book sees so it's going down the solution and sinking Tweah and we are doing the coffee up. Maybe we are get a solution. Now we're coming back. We're not coming back in the 2017 agenda. Come. The agenda is to solve the jobs problem. Let's see what the solution is. Thank you.